picks up win number 3 in 2007.
Pick. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. 3 and 4, make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmy Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup championship.
Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central, here with the whole cast of the Slide Job Podcast. Producer Josh Northcutt's in the house. We got co-host Ben Miller here, and of course, co-host Brandon Bull Davis, all in the house here. We have a lot of tension in the room, so I worry to ask how you guys are doing. Ben, I know you'll give me a good answer. So how are you doing today, Ben?
It doesn't matter how Ben's doing.
Screw you.
So that's how we're starting off.
You can say tension again.
I'm going to let you know right now, if I hit the mute button, Ben would be getting muted.
Screw you, buddy. But, yeah, I'm doing good. SVG got the win today, and my 6th win of the year. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. What about you guys?
You pulled that golden horseshoe out of your ass, Ben.
Bull, damn you! Damn you! That was going to be my line. You had that horseshoe so far up your ass, you had to pull it out for freaking SVG to get Hocevar to spin, of all people. I'll wait.
We're not there yet. No, we're not there yet. All right. Yeah, Ben, I'm doing great. I saw the writing on the wall, and I picked SVG to win, and I got 4 people in the top 10. So I'm doing great. I scored the most points of anybody this week. So I'm a happy camper. Josh's rage is so hot that he froze for like 30 seconds. This is going to be an episode of the Slide Job Podcast. Josh and Bull, do you have anything nice to say?
No.
Okay. Well, Josh, you had a recap, so I guess I'll let you talk.
All right.
Tell us about this Mexico race.
All right. So lap 1, SVG leads from the pole and caution. Rain starts hitting. It's been the rumor all week that rain was going to be involved, which should have been a sign that SVG was going to run away with this thing. Future conversation. Lap 2, most switched to wet tires. Buescher and Cindric decide to risk it and stay out on the slicks. Didn't go too well for Buescher. Turned out pretty well for Cindric. He hung around the top 5 and 10. Lap 6, big wreck. Kyle Busch spins, collects Haley, Larson, Dinger. I got excited. For some reason, I thought Ben also had Larson, so I thought Busch took out 3 of his drivers. It was a beautiful thing. Only 2 of them. Wasn't the one that needed to be taken out. And then stage 1 recap. Lap 14 through 18, track is finally drying. Bell triggers a slick tire pit cycle. And Ryan Preece wins stage 1. SVG runs 16th due to pitting early, and he is the leader of the early pitters. Stage 2 action, lap 25 restart. Ty Gibb takes the lead. SVG climbs to 2nd. Truex spins to bring out a caution. Gibb pits. SVG stays out and wins stage 2. Bull's over here building my hopes up. SVG messed up. SVG messed up. SVG messed up. Well, no, he didn't. And we'll get to why. So lap 50, Bell takes the lead on the restart. SVG takes it back on lap 52. SVG pits from the lead and was held for 15 seconds. The emphasis was 14 or less. He got 15 seconds. Bull gets my hopes up again. Ty Gibbs is going to be able to take it over. Mind you, everyone, I had to double up of Ty Gibbs. I also had a wager on Ty Gibbs 9-1. And at that time, when I looked at my DraftKings, I was also up $1,600. And of course, what happens in lap 65? The one thing that could not happen, a caution, because Hocevar spins out. Who also had Hocevar on his team? Oh, that's right. Me. So not only did somehow, some way, from Mexico City, SVG reach his arm across the border, pull the fucking horseshoe out of Ben's ass, and then get a caution to stay in first place. No. Ty Gibbs gets pushed all the way back to 11th place, isn't able to battle back. So during the final stretch, SVG holds off Bell and Bowman. Bell reclaims second place, but is nearly 5 seconds back. SVG goes on to win the Viva Mexico 250 by 16.5 seconds for a second career win and locks him in the playoffs despite being in 30th place in points.
Correction, 32nd in points.
30 as of now. He moved up to 30th. I looked on at NASCAR. He must have been a little bit behind. He is up to 30th in points. Colton, last year you had an emphasis and you pounded the desk for this whole playoff. Need at least 2 wins. I'm going to, if the little girls were not asleep next door, which I'm sure I probably just woke them up with my voice being raised there, as you could tell, I would be pounding the desk right now. There is no way SVG deserves anywhere near the playoffs. Now, if he goes out and wins Chicago, maybe I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But I'm going to tell you right now, gentlemen, Ty Gibbs is winning in Chicago, and I'm going to bet the house on it. Fuck you, Ben.
Screw you, buddy. I hate you so much. But, yeah, I mean, just going back to this race, though, from the beginning, it was really impressive. I mean, we saw SVG versus Ty Gibbs. It was kind of cool to see those guys really battle it out. I mean, they were obviously the 2 dominant cars. And, these guys, they were in must-win situations. I mean, you saw Ty Gibbs, he was in 24th in the standings. SVG was in 33rd in the standings. So coming into this race, though, I was wondering, these drivers below the cut line, what would they do to try to put themselves in position to get a victory? And it worked really well for SVG as expected. But yeah, overall, it was a good race.
So Josh said I got his hopes up. I did. I was all in on the Gibbs train, stage 3. I don't think that I got his hopes up because SVG played the worst strategy. Gibbs was winning that race. If it wasn't for Carson Hocevar grabbing Josh by the balls and giving him a little squeeze. So you can blame Carson Hocevar for that one, not me, Josh.
How does the car start not even a second after the flag comes out, guys? Not even a second. And, of course, they wanted to emphasize it. Now, mind you, they're a lot better than me. Maybe that is a dangerous plot spot, and they gave them a little bit longer than they normally would. But how is it not even a second later? It's like caution, and I just go, no fucking way. And then, of course, literally, he starts his car up and spins it right around.
Well, Josh, you realize why the car immediately started after the caution, right? Because Hocevar was sitting there waiting for the caution so that he didn't lose the track position, as much track position.
So now I no longer like Carson Hocevar. He went from literally my favorite driver over the last month to now my least favorite driver, because not only do we got to deal with an unworthy person in the freaking playoffs, knocking out my man crush Monday, Ryan Preece, mind you, very much. But now also I have to deal with Ben 70+ points up on me. And think about that. If Ty Gibbs wins that race, think about how much of a points flip that is for me. That alone.
Not to mention if Chris Buescher wins the race last week as well.
Oh, and who lucked out on that win again? Fucking Ben.
Josh, the only thing we can hope now is that 8 more guys win, and then you need 2 wins to get in, because he ain't passing the rest of those guys to on points to get in.
Oh, well, if 8 guys win, I'm going to be the happiest person on earth, because it's going to be pretty darn close to what I predicted in the beginning of the year also, and I'm going to look a little bit smarter, but I don't see that happening with the tracks coming up.
Josh Smart Racing, that hasn't been a phrase for the past couple weeks.
I'm saying literally not using it last week.
Maybe the opposite word for smart, but Yeah, I
I do
mean,
want
you
to.
guys said anything I ever would want to say about this race. I would like to maybe steer the conversation more towards, do you think this, we talked about it before, do you think this was a success? Josh, you did point out a reason in the Discord why you thought it was a success, at least to start the race. Do you still hold that opinion? And, what are some of the things you all saw throughout the weekend that made you believe that it was or was not a success?
Yeah, no, I did feel like it was a success because one, as I mentioned, and I saw it on Twitter, so I can't take full credit for it. But the Mexican fans were there, and they were eating it up, and they were loving it. You saw, I think Chenery posted it. It was what Todd Gillian was getting swarmed by fans. That ain't
Yes.
happening in America. Todd Gillian
No.
could walk by half the people at the track, and some of the people will know who the hell he is. Um, but that was a cool experience. And then the one guy earlier in the week talked about how he grew up a Kyle Busch fan, and he finally got to be there to see Kyle Busch. And then, of course, he posted, "Well, I got to see him for 20 minutes." So
This is your fault, Ben.
so that's just part of the train of thoughts and whatnot. But I don't know. Like, I personally, I thought it was a success. Obviously, SVG ran away with the race, leading 60, but he doesn't lead 60 laps if Ty Gibbs doesn't get stuck in traffic behind three of the hardest cars to pass all day, which I did want to mention. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Briscoe, Cole Custer, William Byron, and Chris Buescher were your top 10. That's not a normal top 10, even for road courses. Congratulations. Thanks a lot, Hocelar.
You mentioned him there in the top 10. I got to give a big shout out to Chase Elliott. He had probably one of the fastest cars there in stage 3. I bet Colton was sitting there getting happy. He had a great car, had a great run. Finished second, or I think it was second. Had a great performance. Third.
Yep.
So he had a great performance. Started about mid pack. I think it was 17th, something like that.
Yeah.
So give a shout out to Chase Elliott. Had a great run today.
Yeah, a driver that I want to give a shout out to is the 48 of Alex Bowman. I mean, like we all know, it's been a rough.
It's a surprise you didn't give a shout out to SVG.
Yeah, shout out to him too.
Mute him, Colton. Mute him right now.
No, Ben, speak. He was giving a shout out to Bowman. I was like, hey, my two favorite drivers are getting shout outs.
All right. So, I mean, big shout out to SVG. I mean, obviously it was a rough year. I can't talk right now, guys. But it's been a rough year for SVG. I mean, as we all expected, though, on these ovals, it was going to be a struggle for him, though. I mean, even though he's been better the last few weeks. But coming into our second road course race of the year, there was no doubt he was going to be a factor. And he went out this weekend and he put on a show. He made a statement in Mexico City for those fans. He won the pole, dominated the race, leading 60 laps, and he got his first win of the season and his second win of his career. And this is a guy that we got to keep an eye on in Chicago, Sonoma, and a couple more other road course races. But big shout out to SVG. And I also want to give a shout out to Alex Bowman, like I mentioned earlier. Like we all know, he has had a rough 2 months. I mean, going into this race, 7 out of the last 9 races, he has finished 27th or worse. And it was one of the things that I was looking forward to watching this weekend was how can Alex Bowman turn that page around? Because we all know he's a good road course racer. He's a good street racer. I mean, he won at Chicago last year. And I feel like after what he's been through the last 2 months and even last week at Michigan, where he was dealing with some back pain, he was able to fight through it to get a top 5 finish. So big shout out to Alex Bowman, Hendrick Motorsports, and that 48 team.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely a shout out that needs to be given because They even mentioned that Anthony Alfredo was there just in case he wasn't able to finish the race or even compete in the race. Not only did he compete, he got up to fourth place. He got up to second place. It didn't quite have the long run speed to keep up with everybody else, but it's truly a great performance from the 48 of Alex Bowman. Always happy to see him succeed. And I think he's somebody, Josh, you said as Ty Gibbs will win at Chicago. I think he's got to watch out to go back to back at the street course because he's shown consistency. He is one of the better drivers at these tracks, and he needs a win. He's going to be wanting to win, and hopefully Jeff Gordon will not put a button in his engine that he presses and makes it explode. So you guys once again took all the words out of my mouth. I can't say anything else. You guys pretty well gave the shout outs and pointed out how incredibly weird that top 15 was, and just really the race in general. That leads us, though, to our fly the flag. Josh, you had some questions thought up, so I'll let you take it away.
Yes, so we'll go ahead and start, Colton, with you since you didn't talk too much so far. First question, SVG will make it out of the first round of the playoffs. Mind you, it is Darlington, Worldwide Tech, and Bristol.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a road course in the first round? Okay, no. Then I'm going to fly the red flag. Unless there is some unforeseen flip of the switch at the ovals. He's looked better, but looked better has gone from 35th to 30th to 25th to 20th. That's still not going to get you in the second round of the playoffs. Heaven forbid he gets there because, he could end up being a round of 8 guy. But I don't foresee it happening unless, like I said, he just figures it out, which I don't see happening at all.
Ben?
Yeah, for myself, I'm going red flag on this one. I mean, as much as I would like to see him advance, I obviously don't see it happening because there's not a road course in the first round of the playoffs. But even though he's been better the last few weeks at the ovals, I still need to see more out of that 88 group. But I'm going red flag for now.
It's pretty simple. Red flag. There's no chance in hell he's making out of those 3 tracks.
I wonder what Josh will say.
I'm going to go ahead and throw the red flag as well, unless somehow Ben picks him to win a race, and then magically he'll pull another horseshoe out of Ben's ass.
Screw you, buddy.
Number 2, Ben, is it panic time for Tyler Reddick? His last top 5 was at Darlington 8 races ago.
Absolutely, it is time to panic. I mean, when you look at Tyler Reddick in 23-11 as a whole, it has been a rough stretch. I mean, we know that the lawsuit is still going on, and coming into this Mexico race this week, I thought that they were going to flip the page. I know I said it on Friday to try to turn that season around. And when you look at practice and qualifying and the race itself, Reddick was not there. I mean, when do we ever see this at a road course? So after today, yes, it is absolutely time to panic because I do not see that 45 going to victory lane anytime soon, and it's really disappointing.
Bolt?
I'm going to go green flag as well. I think Ben pretty much summed it up. He's struggling bad. I did expect today to see a little more speed, but he did not have it any at all for practice, qualifying. I think in practice he was 32nd overall. You usually don't see that at a Reddick at a road course. So there's something going on. I don't know if it's team-wise, if it's driver-wise. But, yeah, it's definitely time to panic.
Colton?
I'm going green flag. I think the panic is definitely there. And the reason I'm really panicking is because what is the last thing you need before you're about to lose your charter, which includes losing money that you can put towards improving issues that you have that maybe can stop this slump. To be fair, Bubba Wallace has had a really good 3 weeks up until here. I did not expect him to randomly be good at road courses. He had an okay day for Bubba Wallace's standards. So hopefully he gets back at Pocono, has a good race. I think that is the one bright spot over the past month or so for 2311 has been Bubba Wallace getting some good finishes. As far as Tyler Reddick goes, though, I mean, this is a title contender. We talked about him as a title contender. But now every week we kind of have this murky feeling about the 45 and his ability to compete. Not Tyler Reddick wise, but because of that just big old storm I had on the thumbnail a couple episodes back, currently looming over that of 2311, and not talked about enough is front row as well. And I almost wonder if Michael McDowell had some sort of idea, looking back now, that maybe this is where front row would be heading, because it did seem like a weird jump from front row and Spire, and weird timing to Spire, but it did work out for McDowell for sure so far this year.
So for me, I'm going to throw the yellow, and that's only because they're headed to Pocono. Tyler Reddick over the last 3 races at Pocono has an average finish of 3.3. Let's see how he does this weekend. If he's back, if he shows some speed, he's still going to hang around. He's very comfortably in the playoffs right now, sitting in 12th, 66 ahead of Bubba, who, in my opinion, is the start of the bubble, and they were showing today on Amazon during the race. So I'm going to go yellow because he's still comfortably in, and they're going to a track he's really good at. But to say I was disappointed with his speed today and his overall driving would be an absolute understatement.
Well, for me, 1 second.
Yep.
For me, 2 strikes. We went to Kansas. He was a non-factor at Kansas pretty well. I think he was fast early, but for the most part, non-factor. That's the track that 2311 and Tyler Reddick have been good at. We now have gone to a road course, non-factor throughout practice, qualifying, and the race, and nothing to show for it whatsoever. That's 2 strikes. If he goes to Pocono, a track you said he has a 3.3 average finish
his best track still on the schedule, because the dirt is obviously number 1, and you don't count Indy because it was only 1 race. So that's why. Correct.
Did Josh just mention dirt?
Oh no! I can see the comments now. He acknowledges dirt. He acknowledges. Okay, we won't go into that. I'm sure we might have a special episode coming up though. We'll just tease that. Yeah, that's just my point. Is that this is the 3rd strike. If he struggles at Pocono, is a non-factor at Pocono. I know like wrecks can happen and whatnot. That's fine. But if he finishes the race in 15th to 20th, we need to start sounding the alarm even more louder than I'm already kind of sounding the alarm for Tyler Reddick.
I would agree. And then I obviously already answered this. Should NASCAR return to Mexico? I'm throwing the green flag 100%. I think it looked like the fans had fun when you looked at the crowd. Everything I saw on Twitter, there was a few hiccups, but I think that was all just because of being the first race. So I'll throw the green flag. I 100% would love to see them back at Mexico, but also allow the drivers maybe to race a little bit more in the Xfinity or get more practice time, because I found it very ironic that at one point the 2 dudes who dominated the race raced the track on Saturday. And then when you look at the top 5, I believe at least 3 of the drivers also raced on Saturday. Because Christopher Bell ran a few laps. That is correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Colton, your thoughts?
I'm going to go ahead and give it the green flag as well. I was very skeptical of this event coming into it, but I think it exceeded my expectations. And when I say skeptical, I was just like, how is this travel going to work? How is the race going to look like? And I think all in all, I saw the value of it. There was value from going through all this trouble and going down to Mexico and opening up the NASCAR product to a whole new set of eyes. And all I have to say is for 2026, Josh, you were talking about bringing the boys down to Cancun.
I mean, that would be a fun weekend. Go do Cancun first and then just catch a short flight over to Mexico City. I would 100%.
If you want to convince me to make it down there, a NASCAR race in the streets of Mexico City is a good way to do so.
Dude, that stadium was. Oh, sorry. You know, I'll go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go green flag on this. I mean, obviously, I would love to see NASCAR return to Mexico City next week, or not next week, next year, I should say, in 2026.
I'm sure.
I bet you would. I bet you wish you would be there every week. You and SVG.
Oh man, but I mean, just seeing everything on Twitter. I mean, the fans had fun, interacting with the drivers. Like we saw Todd Gilliland get mobbed. We saw a kid see Kyle Busch for about 20 minutes. So yeah, I thought that was just looking at the fans. Like I said, they had a great time, and I just feel like that's just going to add more viewership to NASCAR to try to get more fans engaged. And I feel like this is going to be the beginning of something special we can see in the future.
And bull.
I'm going to throw the red flag, and it's strictly because I'm a hater. I don't want to watch another SVG ass kicking. Uh, I want put us on an oval somewhere. Let's race the oval at that track.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, I'm more than happy for that. That would put SVG back at about 25th. Let's go.
And then
Let's do that.
Then we got 3 happy compared to 1.
I do want to say though, I don't know how y'all felt, but that stadium, like the view when they headed up top,
Yes.
it wasn't it wasn't obviously completely full, but that place was packed. Those fans came out, they looked like they were really enjoying themselves. And now that Bull said it though, yeah, do the oval. Don't ever race that was Ty Gibbs' race. I'll tell you right now, I was coming on here with the biggest grin. I was going to be about $2,000 richer. I was going to be the happiest man in the world. And Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, blame Carson, not Ben. Free Ben.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, what you got?
I was gonna say, just talking about the race. Did you all see how many drivers talking about how much they were leaking out both ends during the race?
No,
I did not.
No.
I mean,
I can't say I saw that.
I'm gonna say I did not see that, but I do know like that they literally were worried SVG wasn't gonna make it through the race.
Yeah,
that was the first story. Like he was in bad shape. They were like filling him with high fluids.
SVG mentioned it after the race. Gregson, Blaney, there was like 5 or 6 drivers talking about before the race even. Somebody said they were talking about the tap water.
Don't drink the water. Everyone knows that. That's the most common sense thing. I was just down there for an entire week. Hydrate the way I hydrated.
How many curls did you do, Josh, to hydrate?
12-ounce curls all day, every day, baby.
All right, let's move along to a little overreactions here. I'll go ahead and let Ben start over there. What is your one overreaction from Mexico?
I can't think of one at the top of my head. Would you guys mind?
Yeah,
going
first? Yeah. We can go ahead.
I can go first. I will gladly go first.
All right,
my overreaction is that SVG is never going to lose a goddamn street race again, and me and Bull are going to hate ourselves forever. But I promise you, my other overreaction is Ben. You will never be able to pick him again at a street race. I swear to you. I'm going to pick number 1, and I'm taking SVG, and then I'm going to take him to win the race. I don't care. You will never get this pleasure again, ever.
He knows that because he's going to be scored the least amount of points the week before.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure of it. Cody Ware, first pick.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I cannot wait. That's gonna be a fun time. I've never been so excited for the Chicago Street Course until now. Bull, what's your overreaction from the weekend, though?
Go ahead. I can do it.
I'm going to go ahead and overreact with the fact that Alex Bowman will actually keep his job, and this will be the turning point that gets him back into his winning ways. Maybe he wins at Pocono. Maybe he wins down the line at Chicago. But I think Alex Bowman, this is a great jumping off point for him. The only asterisk I will put is if Jeff Gordon doesn't press the button, as he has a couple times when Bowman should have won the race.
Yep. Only the third top 5 of the season for him.
Yeah, I mean, I like that overreaction a lot, Colton. Now that I'm thinking about it, that would probably be my overreaction too. I mean, I feel like this is going to be the step in the right direction for Alex Bowman. I mean, he's got some good tracks coming up, like Pocono, like you mentioned, Dover, the Chicago Street Race that we. Yep. Yeah, Chicago Street Race. Excuse me, but yeah, I feel like with all these tracks coming up, though, I just have a feeling, though, that, like I said, this is going to be the beginning of something special for that 48 group, and they're going to flip the page. They're going to put those 2 months behind them, and I feel like they might have a chance to get back on track. So I would keep an eye on that 48 down the road.
He can't win Chicago. SVG already won.
Jeez, man.
They shouldn't even race the race. And just give it to him. Just give him the.
Well, I'm glad that Ben said good things about Alex Bowman, because that means good things for Alex Bowman. Bull, what do you got?
How hot of an overreaction do you want, Colton? I got two.
I want it flaming hot.
All right, here we go. The NASCAR Xfinity race was rigged.
Wait, weren't you the one defending? He's waving the green cap or whatever that was. Weren't you the one defending, saying you never thought a Xfinity race could be rigged?
You know, I was, and I definitely had second thoughts after going back and rewatching.
That shit was so rigged.
That was rigged. The optics for him to go and win, return to his home country. I'm going to say that race was rigged.
And here's the thing, though. I have no problem with it. Every other sport rigs it in professional. We watched Dallas give away their best player and then magically end up with the number 1 overall pick with a less than 1% chance. We've seen magical teams go on Super Bowl runs when their star player, who is eventually going to go into the Hall of Fame, plays in that hometown. We've magically seen the team called the Patriots win in 2001 after that horrible, horrible event. Rigged. Sports are rigged. It's a game to us. It's a business to them. The fix can be put into any sport. Just go ahead and ask the was it the Portland Trail Blazers, or was it the Kings, Colton, for the NBA?
Kings.
Yeah, just go ahead and ask the Kings.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, Josh's monthly rigged rant, which is probably true.
I just can't wait for another. You're going to go ahead and put that up, and I'm going to get my rear end shoot out for that too. Bull's going to be the one to bring it up, and I'm still going to get blamed for it.
Yep, you're the one with all the fans, Josh.
Yep, Josh is the one with the endless amounts of
all
fans.
I know is at JNorth1989, my DMs are always open. I will gladly carry on conversations, and I will open my eyes, and I will listen to your points, and then I will tell you where you're wrong.
So progressive of you, Josh. Let's move along to the power rankings. Ben, I'll let you start again.
All right. Just got to find him here real quick. All right. Starting off at number 5, I got Kyle Larson.
Lies.
Be quiet.
So help me God, Ben, if you have SVG at number 1, I'm flipping this table over. Starting at Kyle Larson at number 5. We're not off to a hot start.
Oh, my God.
All right, Ben. What do you got? Let's hear it.
All right. Like I mentioned, driver 5, Kyle Larson, 36th place finish in Mexico. I thought this would be a race where that 5 team tries to get that flow back a little bit, try to find that dominant speed that we saw earlier in the year, but got caught up in that 6-car pileup going into turn 1, had a fast car, but nothing to show for it. But yeah, it's been a quiet few weeks for driver 5, not really showing that speed, even though he's been getting some good results in Charlotte or not Charlotte, Nashville, and I couldn't remember the other one off the top of my head. But moving on to number 4, I got Ryan Blaney finishing 14th in Mexico. Didn't get the result, unfortunately, but he scored the most stage points earned in Mexico City. We saw he was running up in the top 5, top 10. And also, I feel like this is going to be great momentum heading into Pocono, where he goes in as the defending race winner. And number 3, I got Christopher Bell. Obviously, he was a runner-up to SVG, managed to work his way through the field after starting 31st. He was showing why he was a great road course racer, and this is another driver that we got to keep an eye on heading into Pocono as that 20 group continues to put these runs together. And overall, just a strong performance. Number 2, even though he didn't race this weekend in Mexico City due to the birth of his third child, I got Denny Hamlin. He had extra time to prepare for Pocono, a place where he is absolutely dominating with 7 wins. And when you go to Pocono, you know driver 11 is going to bring the heat to those drivers. And topping off my power rankings this week, it's SVG. I'm just kidding.
No, I wanted to see Bull flip a table.
If we were on if the whole schedule was all road courses, SVG would be number 1, but he is not. I got the 24 William Byron, finishing 9th in Mexico today. Not so much of a flashy day. I mean, managed to get into the top 5. Gets a good finish heading into Pocono, and he even extends his point lead over his Hendrick teammate Kyle Larson by 67 points. So big points today for the 24. That tops off my power rankings after Mexico City, gentlemen.
All right, great stuff. Bull, let's hear yours.
So I'm going to start out. I got to give an honorable mention to Chase Elliott. He deserves to be in the top 5, but I just can't seem to find a spot to put him. He's just consistently running top 10, top 15, putting together great finishes. But I just can't find a spot to put him in the top 5. Find a guy to put him over. Starting at number 5, Ryan Blaney. Got the 1 win this year. Had one of the fastest cars all year. Just had bad luck. Whether it's been the black cat run across from him in front of him or what. As soon as he figures out what's going on, he's going to win 2-3 more races easily this year. Number 4, William Byron. As I've stated a couple of times this year, he's got the 1 win and led like 500 laps between 2 races, and only's got 1 win to show for it. Last week at Michigan, he even led another 100 laps. I think it was out of the 200 laps, led half the race and still didn't get the win. So he's got a fast car, leading a lot of laps, just cannot get the finishes. Number 3, as Ben said, Denny Hamlin did not race this weekend. Still got 3 wins this year, putting together a great season. And as we're going to Pocono, another great track for him. Number 2, Kyle Larson, also have another great season with 3 wins this year. And at number 1, a guy that for some reason I took off my top 5 last week, Christopher Bell. Got him at number 1 this week. Today he showed that he can do it on different types of tracks. He's got the 3 wins this year. Now today with a second place finish, starting towards the back, was able to come up to a top 2 finish on a road course. So that is my top 5 after Mexico.
All right, my turn. I'm going to go ahead and put Chase Elliott at number 5. Ryan Blaney will be my honorable mention. Just the sheer consistency without a win to still be 4th in the points. It's impressive. And it just feels right to just have him randomly sitting at 5th to 4th as he has been throughout the season on my power rankings. At number 4, I'm going to go William Byron. I hold him a little lower. Just like he showed the race winning speed, no doubt. But he hasn't won the races yet. But he's been one of the consistent guys, snuck out a top 10 today, has been mentioned. And I think that's good. Denny Hamlin, I put at 3rd place, just simply off of. Actually, no, I'm going to flip that. Because Larson finished terribly. So Larson's had a couple bad finishes, whereas Hamlin's finished well. He just didn't race this week. So I'm going to go ahead and put Larson at the 3 spot. Like Ben said, I thought he would be more of a factor in this race, and he didn't really end up being a factor at all in this race and got wrecked early. So that's not really all his fault, but still the results are the results. And that is that. Hamlin, I put him at 2nd, did not race this week, but just had a win the week prior. So I'm not going to take him off because he didn't race this week. Also, having a child does a lot for a driver. We've seen it with Bubba Wallace. We've seen it in the past. So even Ryan Blaney, I think, maybe not. I might be speaking out of my ass there. But we saw with Bubba Wallace and how that's helped him improve this year. So don't sleep on Denny Hamlin going to one of his best tracks. I have a feeling I know who's going number one this week. And at the number one spot, I have Christopher Bell. He's shown that he can do it on just about every track, and he's just been incredibly, incredibly consistent. Average finish of 10.6. That is 2 spots better than Kyle Larson. So huge kudos to Christopher Bell and his team. Hasn't been winning recently, but he's been keeping pace. He won 3 in a row and hasn't he's gotten close, but he hasn't quite been able to get that. But we have a lot of season left. And at this point, they're probably just testing stuff out for the playoffs. When we get to the playoffs, watch out for this 20 team. They might go on a historic run. And I'm excited to see that. And Josh, I know Josh is currently AFK, but Bell has been a driver running dirt who has also seen improvement in the point standings. Thanks to him running in the dirt ranks with professionals, not amateurs. Too bad Josh wasn't here to hear that. I guess he'll have to wait and give his power rankings at a later date. Something must have come up. Mm-hmm. Anyways, are there Bull? You have actually your guessing game for this week. I'm assuming you have that ready to play for us.
I do.
All right.
Start out. Driver number 1, 38 races, 4 wins, 11 top fives. 11 top fives, 18 top 10 finishes, and an average finish of 15th. He has led 614 laps at Pocono.
Got to be Kyle Busch.
It is Kyle Busch.
Yes.
And driver number 2 had a lot less races. He's only raced there 18 times, had 1 win, 2 top fives, 5 top 10 finishes, an average finish of 17.7.
Mm-hmm. It's a wild guess
Ryan
here.
Blaney.
It is not Ryan Blaney.
All right, Ben, what do you got?
Alex Bowman?
It's not Bowman. Little hint, he won in 2016 on a rain-shortened race.
Oh, Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher.
Ben would have had that answer. He had that answer loaded. I was quicker to the punch.
All right, and driver number 3, 17 races, 2 wins, 4 top fives, 7 top tens, and an average finish of 14.8.
2 wins, 17 starts?
17 starts.
2 wins.
2 wins. Wild guess here, but Casey Kane?
These are only active drivers.
Oh, active drivers. My apologies.
Is this Ryan Blaney?
It is Ryan Blaney.
Oh, yes. Yes, I didn't know he had one. I forgot about that second win. I got all 3 of them this week. I needed a hint for the second one, but I got all 3 of them this week. I'm so proud of myself.
Getting better.
I'm getting better. Ben had all those answers in his head somewhere for sure. Did you? Were you want to guess Ryan Blaney?
No, that name did not come up to me at all.
I'll always remember. Hey, Josh, welcome back.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, sorry about that. There was a 4-year-old not doing well, so I had to beeline out of here.
Of course.
Go ahead. What did I miss?
Ben's head was too clouded with from SVG winning to think of it.
I'm glad I missed that spin around on that. Yeah, you know what? Anyway, very quickly, my top 5 just to go through it. Basically, like everybody said, I would love to put Blaney higher. Can't do it, but his 1 win, fast car, he belongs on there. Number 4, I'm going to put Denny Hamlin. The only reason he drops on the list is because he didn't race in Mexico, so I'm not going to put him up there. Number 3, I'm going to go Kyle Larson. He drops down due to the situation, even though it was not in his control, getting caught up in the wreck. Unfortunately, it seems like some bad luck has followed him.
When you said situation, I thought you were talking about like the your situation with the Kyle Larson. Your guys' beef.
I probably should put him number one, to be honest with you. Number two, William Byron. Good finish. Not crazy impressive, but gonna need to see some wins if I really think he's gonna be a title contender. And number one, the man who magically just ends up in the top 5 and top 10, even when we're not expecting it. Started 31st and ended up finishing second. Christopher Bell. He might be finding something. Maybe not winning races, but you don't always have to win races until you get to Phoenix, and we all know he's capable of winning there.
Yeah, and we know he's capable of winning races. He won 3 in a row. So,
Yep.
I had mentioned in mine that I felt that he had maybe they're testing out a lot of stuff for the playoffs, and they'll flip a switch once we get there. But we already did Bulls guessing game. I got all 3 of them right. Is there anything that you guys would like to add or about this Mexico weekend before we wrap things up?
I would just go ahead, Ben.
Props to SVG.
Who invited him?
I don't know. This is supposed to be Colton, Josh, and Bull vent time, and anybody wants to invite the douchebag who continues to win every week and pick winners. Like
On my head, boys.
You know, the worst thing that ever happened is him wearing that Jimmy Johnson shirt to class and me realizing he's a racing fan. I wish it never would have happened.
Oh,
He's just kidding, Ben. He's angry.
I'm a sore loser. Like, I literally had to. It was so bad. I had to leave dinner and come upstairs, and I'm in my office, and I had to be by myself for an hour. Just between Ben being right and then watching. Like, Bull's the only one who understands how this truly feels. But when you see your lineup just sitting perfect, and it's a road race, so you know nothing crazy is going to happen. No. Just a douchebag spins out his damn car and doesn't want to start it until he gets a freaking caution. But anyway,
the flip on Hocevar is so great. I love it.
But very quickly, what I want to do, since we're going to go over anyway, who cares? So now looking at the standings, it is Larson, Bell, Hamlin, very comfortably the top 3 because of 3 wins. Then you got Byron, Blaney, Chastain, Logano, Cindric, Barry, SVG all getting in. By the way, gentlemen, SVG has 242 points on the season. I'll get to that later. Elliott and Reddick, as I mentioned, very comfortably in at 11th and 12th, 500 points, 77 points. Then the bubble starts. You got Bubba at 411, Chase Briscoe 393, Bowman 376, Buescher 373, Ryan Preece 354. Yes, he has over 100-point advantage over SVG, but SVG gets to be in the playoff because he won a race. Yeah. Michael McDowell is 330, AJ Allmendinger 328, Kyle Busch 323, Hocevar 313, Stenhouse 312, and Eric Jones 311. Everybody underneath there, I feel like, is going to need a win. I don't know if they're going to get in points. Maybe Ty Gibbs could luck into it if he stays hot with 296, but I still think that's a little bit too far off. So from Eric Jones up, it's going to be very interesting because, again, we still have Daytona, the end of year. We still have Chicago that somebody such as I mentioned before, Gibbs could very easily win. Michael McDowell could win. I believe he finished with another top 5, gentlemen. That's now every street race. Michael McDowell has finished either with a top 5 or top 10.
You are correct.
So, and they're out there to win. Like they basically have decided they're not going to get in on points. They need to win a race. Those are 2
like they could. But
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Michael McDowell is always a threat when you go to Daytona. He's won the Daytona 500, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
You are not mistaken.
He did.
Okay.
2021.
And he's a very good road racer. And we've got 3 road races still to go before we hit playoff time. Because you got Chicago, and
Watkins
Glenn
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Glenn is in the playoffs, right?
No, Glenn is now outside the playoffs.
Indeed, it is.
And then you got Dinger, who's a road course guy. So, like, we're going to see some good drivers be pushed off the bubble, possibly, as 10 are, like I said, locked in with wins. And the only hope now for me and Bull is 7 more drivers win in the next 10 races so we can get SVG the hell out of there.
Yeah, accurate. I mean, SVG getting in over Ryan Preece, I'm sorry. That's just not okay. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, though. It is going to be a lot of fun to see this. Typically, it's like a 5 to 4 team race, I would say, for that cutoff line. Yeah, like 2 in and 2 out. We're looking at maybe 10. I think there's really 10 within striking distance of all it takes is 4 really good races. And guess what? They're in the playoffs, as far down as Ty Gibbs on that list. So it's going to be incredible. Maybe one of the better playoff. This is like one instance where the playoffs are going to be interesting. And why is that? No, but simply because it is a points race. Every single week, we're going to tune in and see how these 10 or so drivers compete and how much that climbs them up the ladder of the playoffs to getting into the playoffs. And that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a blast. And I am excited for that. On top of hopefully some good racing.
Yeah, Colton, I hate to do this, but if one of these bubble guys on the bottom win, our boy Chris Buescher's on the outside looking in again.
Hey guys for watching. What? He's gonna win.
He's getting a win this year. One more thing, Colton. Before
you gotta give your winner for Pocono anyways.
Well, also one more thing. Looking at the in-season tournament that we got starting in 2 weeks, there is some interesting matchups that I cannot wait to watch. Currently, the round 1 matchup between Denny Hamlin and Carson Hocevar is one I cannot wait to watch.
Feeding families.
Also, another one that's going to be interesting to watch, Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney. There's a couple very good matchups
in the
first round. Bubba Wallace and Joey Logano is another good one. A bunch of them are as you would expect, but there's a few where a couple drivers that have wrecked out have gotten lower seeds. Carson Hocevar now has wrecked the last 2 weeks. Where Denny got the win week 1, and SVG does not count towards these standings because he didn't make it. So Denny still has the number 1 seed, even though he didn't race today.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. It's going to be great when SVG wins the first playoff race that doesn't matter in the tournament.
Yep. Those aren't set though yet, right? Those are set.
No, there's still one. There's still one more week. Okay. That's just what the matchups are currently. If it started today.
Gotcha. All right. Well, a lot to be excited about in this sport. Be sure to tune back in to see our takes on all of these. But I think I want to go ahead and wrap up the show here after Bull gives his pick to win this week at Pocono.
One guy that we actually just talked about has a bunch of starts here. If he can't figure it out here, he's got a bunch of wins. If he can't figure it out here and get the win, I think he's done for. Give me Kyle Rowdy Busch.
Ooh, okay, all right. The little foreshadowing in the guessing game. I love it. Kyle Busch getting back into victory lane this week. That is per Bull down there. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and comment down below, especially if you felt offended. I mean, we might get a lot of road course hate today, courtesy of Josh and Bull down there, but not sure there's too many of those in the NASCAR sphere. But yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter. Me at LSC__99, Josh at JNorth1989, and Bull at Bull 81818. Also Ben at Ben Miller PXP. I don't have you on the Monday rundown. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh Ben my Miller gosh, PXP. I know. I got it memorized. It's because I just love you so much, Ben. Be sure to follow us also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those platforms. We're on those now. Check us out on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music, or at Amazon Podcast. Yeah. Those are going to be immediately, like pretty much right after we record this, they're going out on there. And so if you want an exclusive listen, go out there and hear it about day and a half, a day or half a day before the actual show comes out. So that's all I got. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace.